Do you have any idea about the general age range of the people that watch your channel? I have YouTube analytics that tell me things. I'm not sure how on those analytic numbers are, though. Calming potion. I don't know that I've ever even seen one of those before. In before he goes in here and there's 5. Yeah, no, I don't see one, actually. Let me think. I actually had this information at one point in my head. It's been a while. I think there's a surprising number of people that are actually younger than I expect, and also a somewhat surprising number of people that are older than I expect. I guess I kind of imagined in my head that a lot of the people watching would be my age, but I think that's just not true. I think it's a lot of people that are in their, like, 14 to 20 range. Obsidian skin. Yeah, I got that. Analytics in general are, like, very interesting to me. There's a lot of stories that get told through numbers that you never really talk about. And the fact that there's so very many numbers that are tracked, I'm sure you could come up with a lot of really interesting things to talk about in that regard. Alright, I guess we're just collecting clothered voodoo dolls for some reason. I'm 22, and all I watch is YouTube anymore. Is NL, Nick, Alpaca, and Good Mythical Morning. Oh, well, we thank you for being around for us. Pretty sure I have at least one of these already. I know I have several of all of those. Straw poll, there we go. Yeah, if you feel like doing an age straw poll, you're more than welcome to. Just do, like, age range within 5 years each time or something like that. That could be kind of interesting to see. If people feel like sharing, and no worries if you don't. But it is anonymous, so. 14 to 44 is probably the demographic. Once I bring up Twitch, I find a good number of people in my group, 25 to 40, also watch, but they never seem to bring it up first. I think there's always this, like, little bit of apprehension of, like, what if I'm the weird one, and I'm the one that watches it, and nobody else knows what I'm talking about? I actually went to this appraisal thing. My mom had this old radio, and she wanted to get it appraised, and this guy that was there, the appraiser guy, he saw that I was wearing a Twitch shirt, and he was like, oh, you're like a fan of Twitch TV, huh? And I was like, yeah, no, I stream and stuff on it, and he was like, oh, what do you stream? And I was like, oh, I do a lot of, like, Isaac and indie game stuff. And he didn't really know where to go with it after that. And he's like, I think I mentioned, like, oh, maybe, because he seemed to think that he knew who I was for a second, and then I was like, do you know Northern Lion? And he's like, no, that doesn't sound familiar. And then we just were, like, in a standoff of, like, I don't know how to finish this because you don't know who I am and I don't know who you are, and it's like, yes, Twitch TV is a thing. I think people want to avoid that conversation sometimes, which I don't necessarily blame them. It's kind of awkward. But I probably shouldn't have worn the shirt that incited it then, if that's the way I felt. I just didn't know better. It's just kind of silly. Yeah, that's always awkward. It is especially awkward if someone feels like they're insulting you for not knowing who you are, which no one should ever have to feel awkward by that, by the way. If I run into somebody, like, even if I ran into one of you guys and you didn't realize it was me, I wouldn't be embarrassed for you not knowing who I am or something like that. I don't expect you to know, like, everything about me or my history or what I look like. That's fine. But it's very awkward to have that interaction that's like, yeah, I don't really know who you are, but that's cool that you do this thing that I'm aware of. That's like the very conversation I wanted to avoid when I had that awful situation standing next to Markiplier for half an hour. Like, I really didn't want to be that guy that's like, oh, I know you, but you definitely don't know who I am. So instead, I just didn't say anything and stood there for a very long time and took pictures of him as all the fans walked up to me and asked me to take pictures of him. And it was okay. I lived. I would flip my shit if I saw you or NL in real life. I may cry or something. Don't cry. It's okay. We're just dudes. I know people say that, and then sometimes you hear it and you're like, yeah, but you're not just dudes. But no, like, we really are just dudes. We just play video games. That's the whole thing. We talk about video games, we play video games, we talk about them more, we do a podcast, and that doesn't make us any different. We're all the same people. We're just all people hanging out sometimes together, mostly not, because we are shut-ins. But yeah, we ran into so many people at PAX and stuff, and it was always so fun. Every time that would happen, it was such like a warm, sweet moment, and everybody had a really like positive interaction from that. So yeah, if you do ever see me in real life, don't feel apprehensive or worried or anything. I'm not gonna beat up on you or anything like that. It's just gonna be a hey, how's it going? If we're at PAX, I'm gonna probably ask you, how's the show? What'd you do? And if you want a picture, if you want to hang out for a second, that's fine. And then we'll go move on. It's no big deal. Seems like your main demographic is between 18 and 25. Yeah, it's fine with me. Honestly, it's all fine with me, whatever. But good to know. How do you feel when a fan recognizes you outside out of nowhere? Well, it's only ever happened to me, like, in a non-con environment once. And to be honest, it was a lot more awkward then because I just absolutely didn't expect that anyone would ever recognize who I am, like, in my area. So, at that point, I was maybe a little confused, but it still was very nice. I mean, the person was totally nice about it, and it wasn't really that awkward, but I just really didn't expect it as all. Oh, right, my farming area's over there. I don't know why I'm down here. Yeah, I'm not gonna beat you up and take your lunch money, Matt. Did Markiplier actually tell Enel how to make an LP? No, it was the other way around, actually. Markiplier took Ryan's advice when he was starting out his channel, and we discovered this live during a roundtable episode when he was looking through his email box. It was very, very odd and hilarious, actually. It was like episode 3 or 4 or something of the roundtable podcast. Shouldn't be that hard to find if you want to look for it. But yeah, he found that he had an old email that he had never looked at that was from Markiplier thanking him for giving him advice and helping him get his channel off the ground. If I ever go to PAX, I'll make sure to wear your shirt so you know that I know you. There you go. That's one way to do it. If you got the shirt and you want to wear it, that would be cool. I worry sometimes. It feels like people worry that I'm, like, judging them when I meet them or something. That's like, well, why are you not wearing my shirt or some crazy thing like that. I don't have those thoughts at all. Like I said, I have no expectations from anything. It's just sort of like a nice little thing to meet people. There's actual proof on Reddit. Oh, we needed proof for that? Your reactions were great. Yeah, it was unbelievable. I couldn't actually handle that was actually happening. Or like that story that Ryan told the other day when he was getting his Nexus pass and he was at this border guard station talking and doing an interview with like a US border guard to try and get his pass so he could just go through Nexus. And on the desk of the guy's thing, he said he had no knowledge of YouTube or anything about it. He had to explain what Twitch streaming was and what YouTube was. And on the desk of this guard was a Fedrin pin. You know, another YouTuber. She does, like, mostly a lot of Minecraft stuff. And she's also from Vancouver, which is where Ryan is from. And he thought that was the most surreal freaking thing, that, like, she was just in the same place that he was. What are the odds of that? Like, for real, what are the odds of that? That's really strange. And also that this guy had no knowledge of it and didn't know what that was. Nick will call you a nerd for even working up the courage to approach him in public. No, never. Vancouver's a nice place. I hope I get to go visit there again. I had a really fun time when I got to meet Ryan there. Really beautiful beaches and everything, too. Like, it's really pretty there. It's one of the cleanest cities I've ever been to. Not that I've been to a lot of cities or anything. I've been to New York, I've been to Atlanta, I've been to Seattle, and I've been to Vancouver. I think that's probably, there's probably one or two more in there somewhere, but those are like the main ones. Oh yeah, I've been to Philadelphia. Oh, and I've been to Boston, of course, because yeah, PAX happens in Boston. Nick, how talkative are you in cons with your fans? Not super talkative, but I'm in, like, public mode, so I'm a little bit more prepared to be social. Which is a thing for me a little bit. Like, I don't get very social most of the time. Until I've had at least, like, a couple beers or something, then maybe I could be a bit more social. But actually, those parties are, like, kind of a nightmare for me. If I have to be in a space with, like, a ton of people that I don't know but are also involved in the same industry... Oh, man. That gets me, like, really worked up, because it's basically that Markiplier moment, but happening in parallel about 100 times in every direction. It's fine if I have a small group of people that I can hang out with, but if I'm ever there, like, just with no one to grab onto, and it's just, like, me standing around waiting for someone to walk up to me, or not approaching anyone, that feels really weird to me. I don't like that at all. If you accidentally wander down to Philly, feel free to get in touch. We'll get a youngling and kick some chicken. Oh, kick some children, you said. I don't know why kick some chicken is what I decided to read out of that. I thought that meant, like, go eat some chicken. I have an eerily precise memory of numbers. I have the absolute opposite of that. I can't remember numbers for, like, 10 seconds. Like, I have a spreadsheet where I keep my financial stuff on, and every time when I get a check-in, I look at the check, and I'm like, alright, I'm gonna put that into my spreadsheet, and then I walk over to my computer, and by the time I get there, I've already forgotten the number. It could be, like, a really obvious number, too, and I'll forget it. When did the policy for posting links change? I have never had an anti-link policy, as long as it's related to what we're talking about, and non-pornographic, obviously. That's Ryan's chat that doesn't allow links, and probably Kate's chat also. I remember when the analyst, when NL mentioned that years after he posted it. Oh, probably the Markiplier on Reddit thing. I can't really look at the link right now, so... Also, capitalize on big events. These are new hyped game releases, pop culture waves, the Slender phenomenon if you do horror, Gangnam Style, pretty much anything. Can confirm Markiplier wrote this. You know, silly to say perhaps, but even aside from all the things they write on Reddit, there's this YouTube content creator playbook thing that's had a lot of those same tips, just nobody ever read it. I believe they call them tentpole releases in their own vernacular. Well, I mean, that's just sort of the vernacular of marketing more so than YouTube's own. But they want you to cater toward, like, any big pop culture anything, whether or not it relates to you, find a way to make it relate to you, and then people will come in from that. You guys should have Markiplier on the NLSS. He doesn't really talk to us, though. It's real weird trying to make connections to people that are, like, way bigger than your channel, when it just feels like the only way that they're gonna think you're coming at them is, I want something that you can give me. And it sort of makes me not want to talk to people a little bit, because it just feels so loaded. And I think everybody gets that feeling, too, and maybe even people even higher up in the echelons of YouTubiness. But I hate the idea that if I ever talk to somebody that I don't know, they immediately are going to assume I'm basically just looking at them for some kind of connection or view, or some kind of something. That's kind of the cynical part of me, I guess. Not saying I want to hold you back, but I'm glad you aren't a YouTube meta SEO machine. Well, I intentionally don't do things that way. Not to toot my own horn, but I am reasonably savvy about how marketing works. I mean, I actually did go to school partially for that, too. And, you know, I know a bunch of stuff about it, and I choose not to necessarily employ a lot of it because I think it would dilute the idea behind what I'm trying to do, which is just keep a cool community of people who generally want to watch what I'm into doing, instead of trying to pull people from wherever to do whatever to just freaking get money. Look, I can't lie, I need money to survive just as much as the next guy, but I'm not all about collecting it en masse to hoard it. I want to have enough security that I know I'm not going to run out of money, and I want to make sure that I can take care of myself and, you know, keep my electricity on and all of those things. But I don't need to be immensely rich to be happy. I just need security. And as long as I have that, I just have to not let it all go to my head and worry too much. If I can do that, then we'll all be good. Markiplier's body mass is 3 times larger than Nick. That would not surprise me. Yo, this weapon or whatever item is not trying. It's getting a little silly now. Business world is dog eat dog, absolutely, and I kind of hate that. It's inescapable, and sometimes even if you don't even want to be a part of it, you get pulled into it, being a part of it by accident. If you end up hanging out with the wrong person, it's like, oh, it's this crowd, where it's like everything is cutthroat, everything is do or die, everything is analytics out the ass. It's like, take a freaking break. Make some content you enjoy making for once. That seems like I just created a false problem there. That's not actually the way it is. You can make content that you enjoy making that also is compliant to SEO standards, if we're going aggressively speaking there. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to keep it simple and not get too involved in a lot of that stuff. And sometimes I worry that I'll get dragged into it whether I want to or not. Nick, did you finish Ori? Yes, I finished it across 3 play sessions. It took about 7 hours. Really, really great game. I'm actually in the process of rendering through that, and I'll be posting it up on YouTube. Hopefully I'll get another 3 or 4 games through before October, the 2nd week of October, so that we'll have lots of stuff to put up while I'm gone. Did Nick do Crypt of the Necromancer? You mean Necrodancer, probably, at any point. Nah, it never really grabbed me as a game that I'd be super into. I only played it once, and I thought it was okay. It reminded me of, like, a rhythm-based Dungeons of Dreadmore or something like that. But I think I'd probably just prefer the not rhythm-based Dungeons of Dreadmore. Might want to try Hallow or Crimson for the Axe Sword enemies. I felt like those were even more rare, but I hear ya. Maybe they're not. What's on his number 1 slot? That's my digger, my Shroomite digging claws. It's very quick to dispatch of walls, but I also have this, which is very quick to dispatch of walls as well. It's my drill containment unit. It's about as fast as wall dispatchery goes. You know what's great is I can do this, so I can fly and also shoot at the same time. Wow. Have you played Dust, the Elysian Tale? No, I watched it being speedran? I don't know why that sounded so odd. It didn't seem like a game that super appealed to me very much. I don't think I really liked the character or something like that. Anthropomorphic characters don't necessarily appeal to me all that much. I guess it depends what kind of way that it's done, but I like the idea of it, but also the combat looked a little bit flimsy somehow. Speedrun, yeah, I can't really come up with the way that that sounds like it would be properly phrased. I'm farming for the Nazar. It's a drop from the small skulls. I just am not finding it. I've been at this for a surprisingly long amount of time. I I need to have a recurring bot command for every time I do these farming sessions, then people don't have to keep asking. You have to restructure the whole sentence. Yeah, it's pretty much one of those, like, abort, start over. Good morning, Panjango. How's it going? Oh yeah, no, I know how to actually phrase that sentence. I'm just, I guess, being a little sleepy or something. Oh look, another Shadow Beam staff. Remember when I couldn't find that earlier? Now pretty much everything is readily available. They stopped updating this game, didn't they? No, actually. I believe there's another update coming fairly soon that's something to do with mechanics. I don't really know much of any of the specifics about it, but they're not actually done updating. It's just probably not going to be any massive updates. Maybe at all, but at least not for a long time. There's actually still a team working on this game, even though Red has moved on to Terraria 2. And no, that's not Terraria Otherworld. They're still two separate things, made by two separate companies. Why don't you try putting an overhead of what you're doing? I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Oh, you mean like a title or something like that. Yeah, that probably wouldn't be the worst idea, but I was doing several different tasks and then I didn't really think about it. But yeah, we're looking for the Nazar. Two indie games I'm really looking forward to, and that's Iconoclast and Cuphead. Iconoclast, wasn't that around already for years in a smaller form, and then it's now being released as like a proper full release? If that's the same one that I'm thinking of. It was like a 2D sandboxy kind of creative science-y platform puzzle game? I think that's the right one. And Cuphead, yeah, it looks really good. Although I don't know much about it other than I've watched a couple videos about it. The new update is going to add a new wrench color, yellow. And there's going to be some overall changes to wiring and mechanics. Maybe they'll figure out a way to get your wish of just tag a teleporter with a thingy. Yeah, that would be so sweet to not have to freaking drag wires across the entire world and just mark it. I mean, you've got buttons, right? Why can't you just say, I have a teleporter, I put a red button on it, and then on the other side I put a red button, and this teleporter is now tagged to the other red button. I mean, it's oversimplifying it, I agree, but they could also just have a number, right? You right-click on it, it brings up a dialog box, the number can be changed between 1 to 9. Match up the other teleporter with the same number, and there you go. You've got, well, a really fast travel system then. You basically just put a teleporter pad wherever you want, assign it a different number, and then freaking spin the roulette wheel at the beginning and go to a different place every time. That might be too good. Maybe they don't want that. Hey, Dudoc. How's it going? It's a much smaller scope of an update, mind you. Yeah, I figured it would be. I don't expect there to be any more, like, 1.3 style updates at all, really. The fact that we even got this far into the game being out is kind of ridiculous, actually. How many items did they add? It was like another 800 items, and, well, a lot of it was furniture, yes, but tons of new enemies, but unfortunately in the form of the pillars. I wish there was, like, new biomes instead, but, well, there were actually new biomes. There's the granite biome and the marble biome. SWAT helmet. Did I have that already? Might not have. But it really would have been cool if we could have gone into space or, like, gone to a new island or something weird like that. Terraria ran in C##, will you add mods? I was actually talking about mods earlier. It's a possibility. I haven't decided on it, but it would probably put some life back into the whole thing. Give it kind of a different reason to play. And actually, I'm not sure what this is written in, which is strange, actually, because usually I do know that information, and I've been playing this game for so long, you'd think I would have picked up on it by now. Telling Nick to take quantity ideas to raise his manpower cap. Oh, gotcha. Thank you very much, Abraxiel, for the $6.69 donation. I bought some shoes from a dealer earlier. My old shoes were falling apart. They were pretty fly, except I don't know what she laced them with, but I've been tripping all day. Oh, that's a great one. I didn't actually know how deep we were going down into that joke until we got to the end. I was like, okay, this is pretty well constructed. Thank you very much for the generous donation. Much appreciated. Anybody that feels so inclined, rock donkeys in chat. Will Rebirth have a Wrath of the Lamb? Yeah, Rebirth's Wrath of the Lamb is Afterbirth, and it comes out on October 30th. So in a little over a month. Please just give me this item. I've killed 170 of them and not gotten one. It's written in C#. Okay. And look at my freaking inventory being full again. I'm gonna throw away some armor polish, I guess. I'll be here all week, every week. Thank you. I'm glad you are. You know, it's not really any danger, but sometimes you get, like, every different version of all of the projectile throwing enemies at the same time, and then it gets a little chaotic. You got the dude with the Shadow Staff, you've got the dude with the Inferno Pitchfork, you got the Paladin with the hammers. Then there's going to be a bunch of flying guys. Well, I guess this is what I wanted. Hence why I put all these blue candles down. 1% chance non-expert RNG, please. Yeah, I mean, I'm defying the odds right now as far as I can tell. Oh, hello. That's gonna hit me soon. No? Oh, there you are. Have to relocate. And thank you again for all the subscribers that have entered the Rock Quarry recently. Like I said, I will be doing a feat playthrough attempt of Titan Souls. We're calling it Titan Souls with S-O-L-E-S. Again, I don't know if it's possible, but we're going to give it a try and see how it goes. Probably tomorrow. Regardless, watch Twitter for updates on that. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be Sunday. I'll very likely try to keep it to the weekend. But that's my way of saying, hey, thanks guys, I'll humiliate myself a little bit in the attempts of being entertaining. Could be funny. It might be impossible. We'll find out. Because I'm going to have to use the controller. And at least with Super Feet Boy, I could use the keyboard. Which makes pressing buttons a little easier because they're larger. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Hey, Psychomedian. How's it going? Titan's Holes. I'll actually be impressed if I can beat even one boss in Titan Souls, even like one of the starting bosses with my feet. Maybe that'll be my goal. Maybe it'll take hours, who knows. If I can beat all of the 4 of the first startup area, that would be... I would feel like mission accomplished then. And beyond that, well, there's some that, like, I can barely beat with my hands, so... Well, I guess I can do anything with my feet. I've proven that already. I got 99% the way through Super Meat Boy, which is, by some accounts, one of the hardest platformers to ever exist. And I did that with my feet. If you're able to do it with your feet, I will be really impressed if you're able to do it with your butt cheeks. I feel like that's substantially less likely, but, you know, anything's possible in this crazy life we live. Yeah, Titan Souls is that one hit, one shot. Or one... Oh yeah, that's what you wrote. One hit, one shot game, yeah. I know, Shadow of the Colossus with my feet is not gonna ever happen. That game's quite frustrating. There was Super Mario 64 and N64 beaten with feet. That's also quite impressive, I will admit. Hey, Hexagon. Alright, I'm starting to get a little impatient now. It's been a lot of hours of me not finding this freaking item. I'm not really sure why it's being this obstinate. If you could just, like, get this over with. Every time I see one of those skulls, I'm like, this will be the time. And then it goes by, and it isn't. Filled up my inventory again. I keep throwing away all the items and I just keep getting more. Why'd you say we did it, Reddit? Did one show up and I didn't see it or something? Whoa! Thank you very much for the incredibly generous $50 donation from Abraxiel, who had only just recently donated $6.69. If you ever get a chance, maybe with Foxman, visit Michigan's Upper Peninsula. It's some of the best hiking and beer in the continental United States, plus the largest, cleanest lake in the world. Sounds awesome. I hope I get to do some kind of exploration like that. That sounds really fun. But thank you very much for the very generous donation again. If you could rock Donkey again in chat, that would be great. There we go. Now we just need to get this item and we can move on. Anytime now. Should play as the Lost with your feet. Honestly, it might be easier than some things. Alright, apparently we started a small donation train here. We just had a $20 donation from Just Drop. Message says, D's nuts. Thank you very much for the $20 donation, for the reminder that D's Nuts is officially running for president and probably will get quite a few votes. Thank you, Just Drop. What is that? Oh, a sniper scope. I almost didn't even notice that there. Pretty sure I have one, but just in case, I might as well take it back. Will you vote for him? No, probably not. Yeah, triple donation train hype. I'm farming for the Nazar. I wish I would stop saying it because someone in chat is always going to say it, and if people are watching this on YouTube, they're going to get real annoyed with how often I've said it. Please. Cursed Skull, 173 of you and not a single time. This is getting real old, man. Hey, Ceci, how's it going? What does it even look like? It looks like a weird thing. I don't even know how to describe it. I can kind of half see the picture in my head, but not well enough to describe it. Yeah, it just looks like a weird thing. Oh look, 3 yo-yos. My jump rate is pretty good there. Let's see if we can reach the entity cap. How many items we can get. And we'll make them all yo-yos, too. Neck crunch coming, yeah. I don't know if you could hear it. I remember being so paranoid for a while that, like, cracking my knuckles and cracking my neck was doing something awful. So glad that they proved that that's not really a thing. You know, I also didn't really know that for most of my life. I didn't realize that chiropractors aren't really, like, real medicine. I thought that that was actually, like, a real thing, but it's not. I hope that's not, like, a politically charged statement to say that. I don't know if it is, but... As far as the skeptics community goes, it seems to not be recognized as a real thing. Like, real medicine. It might be able to help people sometimes, but it's not necessarily founded in real medicine the same way. Hey, Abraxial joined the quarry too! Abraxial, you're going freaking above and beyond tonight. Thank you so much. Cracking knuckles can cause swelling at the worst, right? You do dittos in chat, please, for Abraxial. I keep seeing my skull show up and thinking for a split second that it's an enemy that I want to attack. When I worked at Jamba Juice, a guy got mad at me for saying chiropractic wasn't medicine. It's weird that it's like a thing that's like common knowledge that it is, even though it's not. Like, how did that happen? This like group of non-doctors indoctrinated us with this belief. It's like makes them a cult of doctors or something? Wait, are they... They're real doctors, right? They just choose to express their practice in a way that is not legally recognized as medicine? Chiropractors are in the same category as acupuncture or spiritual healing. Right. Why is there a key brand on the ground wall? Oh, because I'm leaving stuff on the ground. There's just too much in my inventory right now, so I'm just leaving drops around. These are like rare weapon drops that you don't see very often, but there's quite a few of them all over the ground. Some of them are actual doctors, say most of them aren't. Oh. I know very little about this field, so pardon my ignorance. I'm not trying to be insulting, I just honestly don't know. The only thing about chiropractors I absolutely despise, unless they have an MD or PhD, they do not deserve the title of doctor. Right, but I think 90% of people you asked would assume that they're a doctor, right? Because of the way that they've kind of set this up. Because, like, would you really want some dude that's not a doctor to be, like, cracking your neck really hard? That seems really bad. Also, I know for a fact that I've seen articles of people that have been really hurt from chiropractors. I grant it's probably not most people or anything like that, but the fact that anyone's been severely hurt by them when it didn't need to be done in the first place might be a little really silly to me. I bet it would feel awesome, though. Maybe. It could also be terrifying. They still legally require a lot of training? Alright, well that's good to hear at least. I thought it was a prank by the law about chiropractor not being doctor. That'd be a weird prank. It's just a prank, bro. I'm gonna crack your neck, it's just a prank. It's just a prank, why are you screaming? Doctor... My brother, a doctor in a hospital, saw 3 people who had a broken artery in their neck, all from the same chiropractor. Fuck, man, that's crazy. That shouldn't be a thing. I wonder if, like, it just needs to be said more often in public places that this is, like, actually not a thing the way people think it is. Maybe the biggest benefit the doctors, or the chiropractors rather, have is that people don't really talk about it at all. I like how Until Dawn spawned this is just a prank meme. Well, I mean, it was already kind of a thing before because of all the ridiculous YouTube pranksters and gaffsters and goofsters. But yeah, it kind of like hit the same nerve that they hit. So it turned it into a bit of a meme, I guess. Sucks for people who really studied, like, physical therapists who are real doctors. Yeah, it's kind of like providing cover for them. The people who really did study are kind of providing cover for the chiropractors, aren't they? Which is super lame, because they don't deserve to have that recognition or credibility. Please, please, Skull. Please? Please just give me the freaking item now. I've had enough farming now. It's okay. And people wanted me to make YouTube videos about this. This is why I gotta do it on stream, because there's no guarantees. I couldn't even ramble this long, even if I had a prepared list of 20 topics. I'd have gone through them all by now. Look at how many freaking items are everywhere. This is just silly. Oh look, another paladin. Goodbye. Oh look, another not Nazar. Is there anything I can do to make this easier? I don't really think so. I should probably drop my piggy bank somewhere though and pick up all this junk. The worst would be is if the thing actually shows up and then I don't notice it. I don't have any platforms. What did I just do? Oh. That's another item I need to freaking get. Oh, I didn't need to do that at all. The item trough thing, that way I don't have to keep moving the pig back and forth. We're gonna keep all the banners, because I'm probably gonna get more of those. Just load up on all this weaponry. Freaking rocket launchers and tactical shotguns. I'm basically a walking armory at this point. Multiple SWAT helmets. I could outfit a small FBI unit. Would I want to? Eh. Alright, feeling a bit better about this. Having a bit of space put back again makes me feel a bit happier. Excited to get Layers of Fear after seeing Nick play. Just remembered I get freaked out super easily. Yeah, I know that feeling. Well, maybe I don't actually, because I don't get super freaked out. I wanted to relate to you, but I just didn't know how to say it, so I just said the opposite. And my inventory is full again. Thanks, game! I mean, I kind of did that willingly, considering there was so much stuff everywhere. Why do you want me to whip my pig? What's happening right now? buy a safe from the merchant. I have a safe. I keep fishing at home. It's my fish safe. This is what I was talking about. Sometimes you get the right grouping of enemies, they'll show up at the exact same second. And they make my life really miserable. Also, I killed another skull, and it didn't drop the nether. Sorry that I was falsely relating to you. I didn't mean to. Do you have a money thought? You mean a money trough? That's what I was just saying. I need to get one of those. It'd really be quite useful. Alright, next skull we see. This is gonna be the one. Hey, Archon Zach. Doing pretty well. A lot better than earlier today. I was getting attacked by spiders all the time. Alright, that's enough of whatever you're doing with those. Hey, Billy the Ferret. Next skull, bring it on. Bring it on, anytime you want. Come on now. At least I can make this kind of cool wisp pattern in the air. Alright, I guess we're gonna jump back in. Oh, that was supposed to be the one. I said the next skull. There it was, and it didn't give me anything. I've killed nearly 200 of those skulls and not gotten this drop. This is getting ridiculous. Well, at the very least, I'm glad we got the hallowed key today. Just leaves the one. The corruption key is the only key left. And I guess I should have probably tried for that while I was in the other world, since I don't actually have corruption here. You guys like my vibrating Cthulhu head? I think it's pretty sweet. Oh no, it's fine. I don't want anybody to give me an item. That would really kind of defeat the point for me. I might even have it on another world. I want to collect it all in front of you guys. Freaking the rarest item in the freaking world. Oh, no problem, Una. I'm glad you're liking them. I'm just sorry that they're gonna be over, like, tomorrow, because there's only 5 episodes of Layers of Fear. I wish the thing could keep going longer. I would have played it all the way through to the end, because I was really having a good time playing it. Seems like the developers are real nice, too. They seem pretty happy that I played it. I mean, I didn't really get to talk to them, but I saw on Twitter. They seem pretty happy about it. I have very little doubt that when the game gets fully released that I'll be playing through the rest of it. Then there'll just be a Let's Play with a several-month gap between episodes 5 and 6. Alright, next skull. Let's bring it on. Come on, next skull. Does not have enough magic find. Yeah, I'm feeling that way right now. Can kill these paladins like no big deal, but I just can't get this drop. Okay, that's good. You all piled together there. It's made it easy for me. Now let's get a skull. There's one. Oh. Still didn't drop. Next skull. Bring it on. Next skull. Gonna lurk in bed now. Good night, everyone. It was an amazing stream tonight. I always love when Nick does streams. Spend time with his viewers. More importantly, I love time. Thank you. Glad you had fun. I hope to see you next time, too. Alright, we killed the next skull. Did not get it again. I'm going to have killed like 1,000 of the other enemies before I get this thing to drop it once. Killed another skull. I believe everyone in chat just said the name of it because someone asked what I'm farming for, but I'm pretty sure I haven't gotten one by accident. Although, it has happened to me in the past that I've done that. Oh my god, these skeletons. Just give me the freaking item. What item am I using for this? Right now I'm using this demonic Terrarian. It's the best yo-yo in the game. Possibly, maybe the best DPS item. I think that's contested. I'm not sure. But I like it. Does a lot of damage real fast. Is there like a better place I can stand that'll get me more skulls, maybe? Like, what if I stand up here mostly? Oh, we're gonna get rid of this. Then we're just mostly gonna get this guy. He teleports, that's okay. Come on. Oh, look who it is again. Goodbye. Last prism is probably more damage, Nick. There's a giant laser of coffin die. Gotcha. Yeah, I've seen it. I've used it, actually, in the other Let's Play. The expert mode one. Alright. Killed all of those. Then we're gonna go back up and hope that makes skulls show up. Any skulls? Not really. Love how I just completely abandoned the idea of going for fishing missions now. Pretty much just over. Oh, there's one. Drop it. Oh. 193. I'm gonna go until 200 skulls. If we don't get it by then, I think I'm gonna be done for the night. Look at this. I've killed 1,773 blue armored bones. Isn't that excessive? Why did I just explode there? Did I just walk into the spikes? That wouldn't surprise me. I think also my voice is kind of running out. What is that? I needed a flat. You need a bottom area that's flat or cursed candles. Well, I've got blue candles right here, if that's what you mean. Bottom area that's fairly flat. Down here. I'm going into a long-distance relationship. Do you have any tips? Communicate as frequently as possible. I think the biggest enemy of long-distance relationships is just growing apart. And, you know, obviously, it's a different dynamic when you can't be physically with each other, so you've got to kind of compensate for that as much as possible. But everybody's got their own limits of what they can stand for that kind of thing, and some people prefer more or less. Just, you know, communicate enough to know what you feel happy about between each other. I think that would be my main piece of advice if I was to give any. Winkle, no, I wasn't necessarily saying that, but if it includes that as well, then by all means. Are these the cursed candles you meant? The green ones? It's difficult, guys, especially if you like cuddling and stuff, but if you must, like Nick said, talk very frequently, do a lot of games and stuff with each other. But also diversity amongst games is necessary. Don't do the same thing over and over. Yeah, I mean, well, do whatever you both like doing. If the game is play Isaac every day, then play Isaac every day. Whatever you're happy with. But just be clear with each other about what you're trying to do. You know, if you really do care for each other a ton, make it known as much as you can. The other person will appreciate it, and hopefully do the same for you. At 200 kills, you have a 13.5% chance of not getting the Nazar. Right. Well, I mean, I'm very nearly at that point already. That was 196. It's getting comical, though. There's only so much ectoplasm that I really need. I'm not going to be making too many more items out of this rare, like, silly amount of ectoplasm. It's too bad there's not, like, crazy endgame levels where, like... Levels is not what I mean. Material synthesis item things that you can make out of, like, hey, I've got 1,000 ectoplasm, what can I make with that? One really, really rare item, so, like, all of this grinding for other things would come in handy for that. Played Nuclear Throne for about 8 hours. I've looped twice. Is that any good? Yeah, I think that's actually quite good. I don't know that I've got 8 hours on Nuclear Throne, but I have not gotten to the throne yet. I've gotten to, like, the last of the ice levels, I think it is, with, Little Hunter or something, the guy that drops down from the sky a lot. My sense of names is really bad when it comes to that game. Hey, Zealous Tori, how's it going? It's going okay. I'm just trying to wait for this skull to drop its one item. It's being very hesitant to do so. Here's another chance, and it didn't. That's 197. We're stopping in 3 more of those. Oh, there's one right there. Ah, it didn't drop it. 2 more. Ectoplasm-based blocks would be good for that. Not sure about rare gear. Oh, look, 1 more. People might just sit there and grind after Planetary instead of progressing. Right, but isn't that their option? I feel like that's not even that bad. if they grind. Like, that's annoying to do for most people, and they wouldn't probably want to. But for the few that do, you know, let them have a reward for it, right? Hey, look, the 300th Dark Caster. That's great news. Would you recommend MGS5? Absolutely. I'm not even an ardent MGS fan, and that's it, 200, we haven't gotten it. Yeah, I'm not a huge, massive fan of MGS either, but I really like this game. It's pretty solid. And if you have any inclinations towards stealth games, I think this is definitely one of the best ones out there. Also, the beginning is just freaking wild. But the actual game behind the beginning as well is quite decent. You don't have to take my word for it. I mean, check out plenty of the other reviews out there. It seems like almost universally it's being praised. Which I can't say that I've necessarily seen every other MGS game get that kind of level of praise. What is happening right there? Oh, it's a cursed skull banner. I was like, what? Why is the wall extending out? Also, I guess I could just chunk all of these bone wands. At this point, it's just basically preserving as much money as I can by taking as many items. Well, I think we're probably about done here, because it does not seem to be happening. I was hoping in the process of me doing this last bit that one would just show up and I would get it and then we could be happy. But instead, you know what I got? Not a Nazar, but there's actually a spider running around on my computer monitor, because apparently that's the theme of this entire day. It wanted to make some sort of bizarre comedic callback, like IRL. So, yeah, that's what I get. I get a spider instead of a drop. Fantastic. Who could ask for anything more? It's gone now. It's behind the monitor, so it's probably going to come and run on my arm in about 5 seconds. Sorry about your spider troubles today. It's actually just kind of funny that this all happened on the same day. It's become a running gag, I guess, in my head. But it's okay. I'll be alright. I don't think any of them are going to bite me and give me poisonous diseases. That was our last chance, 201. Just so no one can say it would have been the one immediately after 200. Alright, guys, I think that's going to be it. I'm gonna call it and go hit the hay. It is 3 o'clock in the morning. On the upside, though, we did have a little bit of progress. We did find the hollowed key, and it didn't take nearly as long as this. I don't know, I'll have to figure something out. Maybe I'll do it off camera, but I've got to be in just the right mood to farm for this long. Do another 200 of them, and maybe by then